With SwiftUI, we can easily build some cool animations and other modern UI patterns. However, we can enhance the user experience even more by using sounds and haptic feedback. That is exactly what we are going to do in this lecture. We start by creating an audio player. Then we will add different sounds in multiple places. Without further ado, select the main Honeymoon project folder in the project navigator. Then, by Ctrl or right-click on it, create a new group called Helper. After that, let's create a new Swift file for the audio player. Name it to Play Sound and save this file into the Helper folder. Alright, let's start coding. First, import the Audio Video Foundation framework. Import AV Foundation. Then create a new function that will play the sounds no matter what is the name or type of the sound file. var audio player. AV audio player. Question mark. Func play sound. Sound string. Type string. If let path equals bundle main path for resource sound of type do audio player equals try AV audio player contents of URL file URL with path audio player question mark play catch print error couldn't find and play the sound file. This block of code could be familiar to you since we have used it before in the masterclass course. Just a quick recap. First, we created a new audio player variable which is an audio player type. Second, we created a new function with two parameters. The first parameter is the sound name, and the second one is the sound file format. Both of them are strings type. Next, inside this function, we defined a new variable. This var will check if the app can access the sound file in the sound folder of the app. Good Swift programming practice is to use the do, try, catch block of code for further error handling. If the app cannot access the sound file because it doesn't exist or maybe we misspelled the name of it, then it will print out a basic error message in the debug area. In case the app is able to access the sound file without any problem, then it will try to create the actual audio player and use the path of the sound file. After that, the audio player starts playing the given sound file. The beauty in this code is that we can reuse it in the application at any time as we want. Alright, enough saying. Let's implement the sounds into this app. First, let's open the footer view file. Then navigate to the buttons action and call the new function. Play sound. Sound. Sound click. Type MP3. Nice. We will continue with the header view, shall we? Open the header view file. Then navigate to the first button and add the new action to it. Play sound. Sound. Sound click. Type MP3. Next, jump to the second button and add a new action to it as well. Play sound. Sound. Sound click. Type MP3. Easy peasy, isn't it? Great job! So far we used only the click sound in the app, but there is another chime sound in the sound folder. Our goal is to play this very catchy chime sound when the user throws away a card. It will create a friendly feedback for the user with a tiny enjoyment listening to this sound. That said, open the Content View file and navigate to the Move Cards function inside the On-Ended Gesture modifier, then enter. Play sound. Sound. Sound rise. Type MP3. So far so good. It's time to test the app in the live preview. Then click on the Book Destination button and listen. Then click on the Help button and listen again. Did you hear it? Something is wrong because I didn't hear the sounds. What about you? Let's test the Info button now. Nope, it doesn't work at all. Let's see, we can hear the chime sound when we throw away a card. Nothing happens. Our sound function is definitely not working as it should. What's going on with it? According to the Swift compiler, our code is not broken. We can even run the test in the live preview. Hold on a sec, I will stop the recording now and take a deeper look to figure out why we couldn't hear the sounds. Alright, I figured it out. There is no problem with the code and with the function, but I made a rookie mistake at the beginning of this section. What I was doing wrong is that I dragged and dropped the whole sounds folder into the project's root file system. If you can remember, I did the same thing with the asset folders as well, which is good, no problem with that. But after then, I dragged the sounds folder into the project. The blue folder means that it is an actual real folder, which Xcode always watches. So when you add a new file to this folder, it will be part of the project automatically. The blue folders are real folders in the deployed bundle of the app. However, in this case, we need to refer to the file with a direct path. Next, the yellow folder means that it is a reference group. This way, we use groups to organize files in the project without affecting their structure on the actual file system. Because we want to have a relative path locating the sounds files in the app bundle, therefore we must use a reference group for that. So let's fix my mistake I have done earlier. It's quite easy. Open the project navigator and simply delete the whole blue sounds folder. Choose the Move to Trash option in the pop-up window. That's right. Now open the Resources folder on the desktop and open the Sounds folder as well. Select all of the sound files there and drag and drop them into the main project's root folder. And here it is. Make sure that the destination and the create folder references options are selected and finish the process. Finally, select these files and create a new reference group from the selection as I do. Not a big deal. Let's test it in the live preview. And guess what? By doing this, our function will find the sound files without a problem. Tap one of the headers buttons and listen to the computer carefully. Yes, there is a solid click sound when we click on the button. Play with the other buttons as well a little bit. And here it goes. I like so much the Xcode new preview and text capability. And you? Now try to throw away some cards in the preview. Fantastic. So cool. Awesome job. You might ask what's next, and the answer is predictable: haptic feedback. iOS has some nice predefined haptic feedback such as error, warning, and success. We are going to implement the success haptics in the Honeymoon app. The process is quite simple and easy to follow. We need to write only 2 lines of codes for each haptic feedback. Open the footer view and create a new constant for the haptics. Let haptics equals UI notification feedback generator. Then implement it inside the button action. Self haptics. Notification occurred. Success. Great job! Repeat the same process in the future view as well. Let haptics equals UI notification feedback generator. Next, give these haptics to each buttons to self haptics notification occurred success self haptics notification occurred success. Super duper! We are done. Now let's build and run the app on the real device or in the simulator, shall we? Congratulations! This application is quite impressive, for sure. You have just finished Honeymoon, a Tinder-like app with some advanced gesture features. You can use this app in your portfolio and even show up with it in your next job interview if you wish. The more app you build, the more confidence you gain in your developer journey. I hope that you enjoyed this course so far, and I can tell you that more is coming. Just one more thing. I would really appreciate it so much if you could take time to give me a star rating, or even better, if you could share your learning experience with other students by writing a review for this course. If you wish, you can always send me a question or even recommendation about the masterclass. I would be glad to read your success stories too. Until then, happy coding!